Alrighty, hey guys, Simulator 5115 back here with another video. As you can see, we have American Truck Simulator loaded in. And I just wanted to take a minute to explain what we're going to do here. So, this is my personal profile. I have like 7,000 miles on this. I'm level 11. But what I decided to do is, every once in a while I'm going to do these little videos which are just going to be simply me taking a relatively short journey, and we're just going to take some time and chit chat for a little bit. It's going to be a way for me to vent and kind of get some stuff off of my chest. And you know, if you really don't care to watch these, you don't have to. This is just my way of letting off some steam. I enjoy this game, so to me this is just a way of being able to relax and unwind, and hopefully you guys can sort of get to understand where I'm coming from as far as these are concerned. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump into the freight market, and we're going to pick up a relatively short journey. So as you can see, we're over in Fresno, so I'm going to try and find something that's not relatively large, but something that's still a decent journey, so that we have some time to talk. This is about a 5-hour. You know what, I'm going to set this one. This is some tires from Fresno to Los Angeles, so we're going to go ahead and take that. I'm going to reset track IR, just let some things load up. Go ahead and start the engine. Okay, let's go pick this baby up. So, excuse me, as far as these videos, like I said, this is going to be just an opportunity for me to unwind at the end of the day and just vent about some things. So, first off, as we get started here, my first video I made was 7 Days to Die. I wasn't completely thrilled with that video, only because I had some technical difficulties recording it to start off with, which I always hate, because what I ended up doing was I put on my Instagram page that I was uploading a video that night. It didn't end up getting uploaded, and I had to wait until the following day to upload it, which, I get it, everybody kind of runs into those sort of situations, but it just kind of put a kink in things, and I wasn't really happy with how the video came out. I think I kind of overspoke, and I may have spoke a little too quickly. I don't know. Of course, every recorder or streamer is going to have issues with the way that they record, and you can't always be perfect every time, but that's why I wanted to take this little journey, because I wanted to let everybody know that I'm not perfect at this. This is not something I'm a professional at, and that's why I'm starting to get into this, is because I understand that there are a ton of professional streamers out there, they're Twitch partners, they're making thousands of dollars on YouTube, whatever, and whoa, okay, little lag there, almost crashed her. But at the end of the day, what I want you and everybody to understand is that this, for me, is not about the money or about anything, really. It's really just about having some fun, relaxing. Alright, I probably should have gone that way, but... Ugh. forward a little bit. I don't think I have advanced coupling on, so this should be fine. Yep. Like a glove. I'm actually gonna just go ahead and take her out this way. Oh, I got caught up on the fence there a little bit. Alright. This journey is just about 4.5 hours, so it'll give us plenty of time to chit-chat for a little bit. One of the hardest things that I find about doing these videos is what to say, how to say it, and really just trying to kill the time between the start and the finish. And I think a lot of people have that sort of problem, especially when recording videos. Streaming is a different story because you have the chat and you have things that people tell you, and you have a way of having a conversation. When it comes to recording, it's really you and the game, and you fill in the rest. But what really pushed me to make this video was a little incident that happened earlier today, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more in detail as we get going here. And if you're wondering what that situation was, my uncle is not doing very well right now. And by not doing very well, what I mean is, I would say, what are we in? We're in March now, so October, November, December, January, February, March. So maybe about five to 6 months ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer. So, as you can tell, this story is already going to be not the greatest, but in order for you to grasp the concept of the situation at hand, you have to kind of understand who my uncle is. And to start with that, I really have not had that much of a relationship with my uncle. In all honesty, he's been not the greatest person, let alone the greatest uncle. But at the end of the day, he is family, so you do what you have to do. Stop. Oh, well, I'm already past it, so I might as well just go. And what I mean by that is, he never really was in my life that much. He never was around for birthdays or Christmas or graduations or anything. He decided to take his life down a different path. And that path being drugs, substance abuse. And he, from what I understand, from what my mother is able to tell me about, is that he has always been this way. My mom has memories from long ago of him being an addict and abusing substances. And it's sad because you don't want your only memories to be bad ones. You don't want to remember your uncle or your brother as having an addiction or being an abuser of medications or heroin or whatever it may be. And that's where the situation gets sticky, because as little of a relationship as I've had, like I've said before, at the end of the day, he is my uncle, and family is family, and some people may think differently about the situation, and that's totally okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's the great thing about the way the world is that no two people are going to think exactly alike. If they do, great, but we're not made to be that way. We're not supposed to think that way. Let's get up to speed here. And lock her in at 55. So today, my grandmother calls and says that we should probably go by her house because she doesn't think my uncle will make it through the night. She thinks that tonight will be his last night. And so I end up getting there before my mom, and everything's okay so far. He's getting up. He wanted to go smoke a cigarette, which is kind of a little bit of a ironic situation there, because you think about it, cigarettes are probably what put him there, and here he is at the end of the road and he still wants one. But anyway, I get it, addiction is addiction, and so he's having a really hard time walking now. So I'm there to try and help him get in and out of the house and go smoke a cigarette and so on and so forth. But what ends up happening is after my mom gets there, my grandmother calls his hospice nurse because he's in a lot of pain. And because of the abuse of substances, his tolerance is higher than most. So it takes more to do what it's supposed to do. And the problem is there's different nurses, because we're talking this was around 6:30 at night, so the nurse that usually shows up during the day wasn't around, so a different nurse had to come. And he doesn't like the nurse that goes regularly, let alone a new nurse. Of course, you're gonna get a new nurse every day. It gets to be a lot, especially when each one has a different plan. So I can get, it's frustrating, it can be scary, of course. He's sick, he's not feeling well, and all of that, but what ends up happening is the nurse comes in, gives him some medication to try and alleviate some of the pain, to try and relax him, and get him to sort of to rest, to sleep, to get to bed, to be comfortable enough to sleep for the night. And he's fighting with her the entire time, just really being nasty to her and telling her to leave and saying he's going to call the police and all sorts of things. And he's a little not with it anymore, so you can understand why this is a delicate situation, because he's really not aware of what he's doing. And so you have to be cautious of the situation. And the nurse handled it perfect. I think she did a really good job at not giving in to his sort of ability to push people away. He's good at that, and all he wanted was for her to leave, and she wasn't going to leave because her job was to be there and really take care of him, to make sure he was comfortable. So she did that, and then she left. And so what ended up happening was, after she leaves, we try and get him to lay down and rest. But he doesn't want to. He wants to sit up, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. He wants to have a snack, he wants cake, he wants ice cream. And so that's all good and fine. I think it's good that he has an appetite. But after that, the nurse ends up coming back. And that's when things kind of took a little bit of a turn. What ends up happening is he gets upset because he thinks that the nurse is there for some ulterior motive, that she has some sort of agenda that is not right to him. So he starts saying that it's against the law for her to be there, and mind you, it's totally not. She's there for him. She's there to help him, and that's what he's not understanding. He doesn't get that everybody's here to help him. He thinks he wants to be in control of everything, his medications, his diet, his pain meds, his oxygen tank, and of course, when you have a substance abuser, it's probably not the best idea for them to be in charge of their medications, especially when their medications are high doses of morphine and Klonopin and drugs that are highly addictive. But he's dying, so you have to have these meds to keep him comfortable. We're at end of life care rather than preventative medicine at this point. So he starts to get a little feisty and telling her to leave and that this isn't right and she shouldn't be here, and she's trying to take him to the hospital and this and that, because his biggest thing is he didn't want to die in a hospital, he wanted to die at home. So my grandmother took him in and has been taking care of him. The problem with that is my grandparents are 73 and 69. My grandmother is going to be 70 this year. They're not old, but they're not the youngest, and it's a lot to take care of him. And I get worried sometimes that they're going to have a heart attack, or they're going to get so stressed out that they end up getting themselves sick and putting themselves in the hospital. And that's just something that I don't want to see happen, because that's not good for anybody. And at the end of the day, before this all happened, my grandparents were perfectly healthy. So if that's the case, then he's the reason they're not feeling well. But like I said, he's getting feisty with them, getting in their face, trying to push, and he ends up falling down. And that's when everything sort of comes into view. He starts to realize the situation that he's in. And everybody who's already understood where he's at sort of takes a step back and realizes that he's now understanding where he is. And it starts to get very sad. Because, like I said earlier, he is my uncle. He is my family. So, at the end of the day, you really just want to make sure you're doing the absolute best you can for your family and for everybody involved. You don't want... If I can go to bed at night and be okay with the way I handled the situation, then that's awesome. But there are some times that I feel like I haven't done anything right. I feel like sometimes, regardless of the situation, I've just not handled it to the best of my ability, or to the best that I feel capable of. And when there are multiple people affected by it, that's when things get tricky, because I have my grandmother, my grandfather, my uncle, and my mom. So you really I have to take into consideration everybody's feelings and try to accommodate to all of them, and that is a tough situation. So it's currently 10 o'clock. I haven't heard from my grandparents yet, which is a good sign. I'm hoping he's sleeping right now. But as you can see, this wasn't the best conversation for this drive. We're about a half hour away. But this is my relaxation time. This is the time that I get to vent about things, and I get to talk to you guys. And you know what? Heck, I had 12 views on my last video. This is not something that I think is gonna explode, but my Instagram page is okay. My Facebook page is lacking, and so is my Twitter. But you know, as many people as I can reach is my goal. I want my voice to reach as many ears as possible because I want everybody to understand that I am somebody who you can come to with questions, comments, concerns, anything. If you need advice, I'm not saying I'm gonna know every answer to every question, but whether it's family advice, whether it's relationship advice, I mean, I've been in a relationship for 3 years now. Like I said, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna have all the answers, but what I want is to have an open line of communication with everybody or anybody who wants to talk or needs to talk. And I understand what it's like to feel alone, so to speak, or to feel like you're not really sure who you can talk to. But I will lend an ear to anybody who has a story. And even if you want to feature your story here in a video, and you want me to answer it personally like that, feel free, comment, subscribe so you can get updates. And really just, let's take this journey together. We can do it. No matter what anybody is going through, it's never permanent. And that's a promise. As bad as things get, it will never last forever. And that's something I go by, because at the end of the day, you really just need something to grasp, something to really get you through the day. And sometimes... really? Okay. Sometimes that's what it takes. It takes a little bit of a compromise. It takes a little bit of understanding. I'm gonna try and do something really stupid here and turn around. Yep, I'm either gonna damage the truck or the trailer. Oh boy. Alright, let's try and figure this out. Alright, as you can see, I'm not the best. Holy crumb. Oh, good lord. Alright, let's try something. Oh, boy. Alright, well, I had an idea, but let's try this instead. I think this may be a little bit of a better idea. Oh my god, can't see. I'm hoping that other side I'm in doesn't look too bad. I just don't think I have it just right yet. Yeah, nope, I'm a little bit off, so I'm just gonna pull forward. Okay. Nothing like not being able to park a trailer in a relatively easy spot, too. Okay, there we go. Goodness, let's see how we did. Excellent. We got 455 for the XP, about $9,000. Alrighty guys, I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for listening, and make sure you go take a look at my Instagram page, Simulator5115, my Facebook, and Twitter, obviously, Simulator5115. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't, and comment your questions or concerns, or just tell me a story. Tell me something about you. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.